Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
The cost of the new A's ballpark has risen from what it was originally projected. Good morning and thank you so much for joining us on 7 at 7. I'm Cynthia Pua. Still ahead on 7 at 7, a man who led police on a car chase and exchanged gunfire with them on Friday has been arrested. We have the latest. Plus, the hundreds of dollars rent has gone up for apartments in the Las Vegas Valley since the pandemic. Starting off with your top story, sponsored by Nevada Hand Silver Sky Assisted Living Community. Learn more at nevadahand.org. Police have arrested a man 2 days after he shot at officers after a vehicle pursuit in the Las Vegas Valley. 54-year-old Jamie Mendoza is the man who was at large for 2 days. The shooting happened a few miles north of downtown. Metro Police say they were looking for Mendoza on Friday, who was believed to have been involved in a felony crime. When Mendoza was located by officers around 10 p.m., he sped off in his vehicle. He was located once again half a mile away, where he ran on foot after having wrecked his vehicle and began shooting at officers and got away after one officer returned fire and then took cover. Police say Mendoza was arrested on Sunday and is facing several felony charges. The officer involved in the shooting has been identified as 33-year-old Marcos Gomez, who has been placed on administrative leave pending a review of the shooting. The cost of the highly anticipated A's ballpark stadium has increased by $250 million due to the inflation and the addition of ballpark features. The stadium's projected price tag went from $1.5 billion to $1.75 billion. The new elements added during the stadium's design phase include more clubs and suites, upgraded general admission spaces, and player amenities. The A's Las Vegas ballpark will be the first in Major League Baseball to offer under-seat cooling. All recent and potential future cost increases will be the A's responsibility to cover. Now, construction is expected to begin this spring and completed by 2028. In your weather, sponsored by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing. Starting off your work week with some sunshine and a few clouds for today, waking up with temperatures in the 40s, hitting 50s by 9 a.m. and the 60s around 11 this morning with a high around 67 degrees. We'll be feeling above normal temperatures for the rest of this week with light winds for most of the region. Temperatures will linger in the high 60s Tuesday through this weekend with mostly sunny skies and overnight lows in the 40s. In your business news, brought to you by G-Bank, your best banking experience ever. The cost of a one-bedroom apartment in the Las Vegas Valley has gone up more than $400 since the start of the pandemic. Now, this is according to a new study. The average rent for a one-bedroom in the Valley was $1,145 at the start of 2020, and as of the end of October 2024, that figure had jumped to $1,547. This is according to data from an online statistical website called Numbeo. LVRJ Patrick Blenner has it, explains why.
Basically, rent is still up from what it should be if we did not have a pandemic. So that's probably the best way to look at it, is that your rent costs you about $400 more than it probably should if we didn't go through the global pandemic and basically disrupt the global economy for well over a year.
Sports brought to you by PT's Taverns. With over 65 locations, there's a PT's near you. Visit ptstaverns.com. UNLV is headed back to the Mountain West title game after their routing of UNR here at Allegiant Stadium on Saturday. Barry Odom was choked up as he spoke on UNLV, giving him a chance to coach this team.
5 years ago today, I was fired at the University of Missouri. Okay? I'll never forget that. You learn from your lessons, you learn from your opportunities, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you go create more. And then you have got an opportunity to sit here with two great players.
In health news, brought to you by Centerwell Senior Primary Care. Discover primary care focused on you. A Reno resident who's also a U.S. veteran is pushing for access to psychedelic-assisted therapy that could eventually lead to the legalization of shrooms. President and Legislative Policy Advisor of Nevada Coalition for Psychedelic Medicines, Jonathan Dalton, says psychedelics helped cure him from depression and anxiety after his time serving. Now he wants to help others with mental health conditions by planning to introduce two bills, one that would reduce penalties for possession of magic mushrooms and a second one that would authorize a pilot program of psychedelic-assisted therapy, eventually leading Nevada down the path to legalization. Lawmakers who support that say they want to make sure that it's supervised and that it's done in a medical setting.
Sports betting brought to you by the Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. After taking a win over the Steelers in snowy conditions, the Cleveland Browns will look to make it 2 in a row as 5.5-point underdogs against the Broncos. They are plus 215 on the money line. The total for the Monday Night Football game in Denver is set at 41.5 at Caesars Sportsbook. The Broncos' offense is starting to click, and they've won their last 2, including their 29-19 win over the Raiders last week. And for the first time since being traded away in the offseason, former first-round draft pick Jerry Jeudy will face Denver as a Brown. Vegas Nation brought to you by Station Casinos STN Sports. Download the app today. The Raiders own the longest active losing streak in the NFL with 8 losses after falling 19-17 to Kansas City on Black Friday. They were 1 play away from going on to attempt what could have been the game-winning field goal when a botched snap caused a turnover. KC recovered and the Chiefs grabbed their 11th win of the season. And the Raiders moved to 2-10. In the hard-fought battle, Aiden O'Connell returned from a thumb injury and threw for 340 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he also took the blame for the late fumble, which cost the team the game.
In your lifestyle news, brought to you by LV Craft Shows, bringing you the finest crafting gift show since 1999. Visit lvcraftshows.com for upcoming events. A group of students at Green Valley High School are honoring their advisor who passed away in July. The students who produced the Investigator newspaper are continuing to write stories as they were taught by 48-year-old Eric Johnston, who was beloved by his students.
He was someone that I looked up to, someone that helped me really have an interest in journalism, and knowing that he's gone has made it difficult and actually sometimes wanting to do the work. But knowing that he would want me to do the work, wanting to honor him and honor his legacy kind of starts sparking up that motivation again.
Under Johnston's leadership, the Investigator repeatedly won the Review Journal's top high school journalism awards. Moving on to entertainment, sponsored by Arizona Trolleys has live entertainment every weekend at both locations. Go to arizonatrolleys.com to see who's playing. The massive rock and heavy metal festival Sick New World won't be coming back to Vegas for a 3rd year. It was set to take place at the Las Vegas Festival grounds on April 12th next year with headliners like Metallica, Linkin Park, and dozens more, but has now been canceled. In a statement from the event's website, it reads, "Despite our best efforts, we've encountered unforeseen circumstances that we are unable to overcome for next year's show." The Review Journal has reached out to festival organizers for more details. We hope you had a great holiday weekend, and thanks for watching our 7 at 7 newscast. Join us tonight for more quick local news updates right here on 7 at 7.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.